When I came up with the idea of doing this season by season series, this season in particular stood out because I wasn't really sure how I would cover it. Would I do a video on the 2020-21 season, or would I put this season with a season prior, the one that was canceled, or just skip it in general? But going through it, there was something that happened this year that changed the Ontario Hockey League, and we still see those effects here today. And I almost want to say it's a positive change coming out of a negative season. So, of course, 2020-21 canceled due to the pandemic. The 2019-2020 season, of course, cut short. We didn't have a playoffs that year, so no OHL champion, no Memorial Cup championship. So this year it was in limbo. The Ontario Hockey League a couple of times tried to restart. Of course, we know the National Hockey League, they played in the bubble in the summer of 2020 and then would play a shortened season for their 2021. But the Ontario Hockey League, a little different. It's ticket driven for a lot of these teams. They can't really afford playing games without fans, as these are smaller operations than what you see in the professional ranks. But even as a broadcaster, it was really strange not going to the rink during a hockey season. Although the PGHL, so the Provincial Junior Hockey League, which is the Junior C ranks, at the time when we were waiting for the OHL to announce what they were going to do, they were actually trying to get things going. I remember going to Stainer. I did a Stainer Siskins game. They were playing Huntsville. I think it was in September of 2020. But going into it, no fans. Everyone had to wear a mask. And when I was trying to call the game, my glasses would keep fogging up. So it was really strange during that season. And credit to Fedora Films, who live streamed the game for fans in both Stainer and Huntsville. But that's just the way the world was at that time. The PGHL, not long after I called that game, they also canceled their season as well. And the OHL, at one point, they figured maybe they could do a 40-game schedule. Teams would play geographical opponents, and if they had the playoffs, it'd be 8 teams that would make it. So 3 rounds, but eventually that plan was scrapped as well. The Ontario Hockey League, it was supposed to host the Memorial Cup in 2021 as well, if you remember. And before everything got locked down, we knew that Sault Ste. Marie, the Greyhounds, and Oshawa Generals were the 2 teams that put in bids, but ultimately those bids went nowhere because we didn't have Memorial Cup in 2021. Sault Ste. Marie put in a bid the same year as the Saginaw Spirit and fell short, but we haven't seen Oshawa put in a bid since, although 2027 is coming up. Do we see Oshawa or Sault Ste. Marie try again? Time will tell, but it just threw everything off. So a canceled season again for the Ontario Hockey League, but you still have the players going off to school. And it was great to see that despite nothing happening on the ice, the OHL still recognized some of their academic players. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, just to recognize those award winners, because outside of everything else that was going on at that time, I don't really think we paid too much attention to these award winners. So the Roger Nielsen Award for Top Academic College University Player went to Adam Varga of the Ottawa 67s, which is really exciting to see. And then your Ivan Tennant Award for Top Academic High School Player was Lawson Shirk of the Hamilton Bulldogs. And those were the only 2 awards that were handed out in the 2020-21 season. But when we got into the spring and we started to see a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel that hockey would be able to return potentially for 21-22, then the OHL started figuring, okay, how do we do the draft? Because you want to have it so that it's fair, because you don't want to just go off the last standings and give those teams an advantage. So they did the very first draft lottery to determine who would get the first overall pick, and then so on and so forth after. And that year, the Sudbury Wolves, they would win the very first draft lottery, which was held in 2021. And they would select Quentin Musty first overall. Now, the Niagara Ice Dogs, of course, that year were the only team to not participate in the draft lottery. And that's because their first round pick was taken away by the Ontario Hockey League due to recruitment violations a season or 2 before this. So that's the one bright spot, I think, when you look back at 2020-21, that we now have a draft lottery. And they've been doing it ever since. And I think this is it's helping out with the OHL because before, whoever finished 20th overall automatically would get the first overall pick, which would kind of encourage tanking if a team knew that there was a certain player that they wanted to draft first overall. And now that you've got the draft lottery, we don't always see the 20th place team win that first overall pick. So I think that's a positive to take away out of the fact that we didn't have a season. But still, what a weird, strange time. Yeah, even as a broadcaster, like I said, having a winter where there was no hockey to cover, very strange. But I'm so glad the OHL able to return in 2021-22, and we'll get to that video next in this series. So I know this one a little shorter than what we've had with the previous history videos, but this is a season where we did see some change, and yeah, just wanted to document it here in this playlist. So again, let me know in the comments below, do you like the draft lottery? Do you think this is something that's benefiting the OHL, or would you like to see it go back to the system it was before the pandemic, where just the 20th place team would get the first overall pick? Love to see your opinions and comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon.